All right, we are we are live. Gonna give everyone a couple minutes to get in because I'm a minute early. So we'll give that some time. See how many people we can get to show up for 3:30 on a Saturday. Looks like we got 50 something people. So we can kick this off now. Sound good? Video's okay. I know video's not great because I'm using a webcam, but sounds good. Okay. So first thing I want to do before we dive into any like question and answer, I don't know if he's on this stream, but had a user, had a follower send me some stuff the other day. He said that he had an extra copy of The Great Escape, so he sent it to me. Super thankful for that. I'm going to review this and check that out. But then he also sent me this sealed, completely sealed Best Buy 4K steelbook of Knives Out, which is like crazy expensive on eBay, and the horror pack limited edition Blu-ray for this month. So that was pretty wild. Thought that was really cool. So props to him, Javier Rodriguez. And then I did get some new stuff from Arrow Video. 16 Candles, Elvira. Why Don't You Just Die? That's an interesting one. These are from MVD Visual. It's The Cat in the Moon, which is an interesting one. And then Unintended, so some indie stuff. And then I also got The Wind from Arrow Video. So these aren't even, none of these are even out yet. None of these are on shelves. The 16 Candles is a new 4K scan, so we'll check that one out. Yeah, that's a quick update on what I got recently. I also bought some movies from MVD. They're doing a sale. So I'm going to put this in the chat, but you guys need to go to this website and support them. They may be sold out at this point. They were sold out on a couple titles I wanted, but I got 3 Arrow Video movies for, I think, $17 plus shipping. So crazy, good deals out there. So other stuff, I am working on the 4K reviews for the rest of the Columbia set. I'm also going to be working on The Great Escape and 16 Candles. I'll be going through those, and we'll see what else I get to. I'm still working through the Harry Potter 4K review too. So a couple things coming to the channel soon. Wanted to give you an update on that. And we're getting close to 40,000 subscribers. So I am really hoping that we can hit that maybe by the end of the summer, maybe by the end of August, we'll hit 40, and then we'll be on to 50,000 by the end of the year, which was my goal. That's where I wanted to be at. So we'll see, but you guys keep spreading the word, keep sharing the videos, post them on forums, post them on Reddit, post them on websites, post them wherever you can. That helps support me, and post them on Facebook if you want, social media. I don't care where you post them. The more places you post them, the more people that see them, and the more subscribers we can get. And if we get to 50K, I'm going to do a pretty substantial giveaway at the end of the year for the 50K. So, and I'm talking like, I can't say what, but it's going to be substantial. It's going to be a big deal for this channel if we get to 50K by the end of the year. Um, so with that, that's about all I have for an update. I don't think there's anything else. So at this point, I can I can open it up to you guys. I'm gonna be on here for about a half an hour again. I'm gonna go until about 4 o'clock Eastern time. So that's about 25 minutes from now. So if you do have questions you want to get in, as always, a great way to support the channel is using the super chat, and I do answer every single one of those. You can also just straight up donate to the channel through there, but I've found that this is a way better option than trying to put extra ads in my videos. I just like to have ads at the beginning. I try not to overload with ads like some people, but ad dollars are way down. So I've been having much more luck with the live stream and your guys' support. So I appreciate that. So if you do have any questions that you want to make sure get answered, you can use that super chat function. And I also have memberships open now. So if anybody in here is a member and has joined the membership for the channel, you'll get a little emoji next to your name and or a little symbol. And I'll be sure to answer any member questions as well, 100%. So let's see. Let's see what we got. My Samsung's getting the blue corners. Anyone recommend a good 65-inch TV? I would check out, if you want to stay within a budget, check out the Hisense H9F. I have one of those on the way to me in 55 inches to review. So the 65-inch version, I've heard really good things. Can I review Beverly Hills Cop Trilogy? It's a 4K scan. I could. I'm debating whether or not to do that. It is in 4K on digital, so I could do a digital review, but that kind of goes against everything. I have the Blu-rays, but I probably maybe I'll do that eventually, but it's not on the top of my list. I have a lot of stuff coming that I need to get through. What do you think about the Toy Story movies in 4K? I think they're just okay. I thought Toy Story 4 was a really nice one, but the originals, I mean, it helps a little bit, but it's computer animated, CGI. So it didn't do a ton for me. But Toy Story 4 was actually rendered in 4K and had 4K animation. So that was a cool one. Chad, thanks for the support. Is Criterion going to have a flash sale in July? They I don't know if Criterion will have a flash sale, but Barnes and Noble is having one in July. There's been posts online from Barnes and Noble employees that even with all the stuff that's going on with the pandemic, that they're still going to have the sale. You may have to get stuff online or do store pickup, but they are the employees at Barnes and Noble are being told right now to set up for the Criterion 50% off sale. So that's coming in July to Barnes and Noble, which means that Criterion probably won't have a flash sale in July. They'll probably have one sometime in the early fall. I would guess October. That would be my guess, but I'm not sure. But I know Barnes and Noble's coming in July. Any chance that Home Alone 2 will come to 4K? I think it all depends on how Home Alone 1 does. If it sells really well, then I think it's a natural next step to go to Home Alone 2. They'll probably do it. But they also, I'm not sure if that's on Disney Plus in 4K yet, because that's really where you're going to see stuff coming to the disc, is what they already have finished for Disney Plus in 4K. Is there an ideal temperature to store Blu-rays? That's an interesting question. I mean, I would never store anything electronics wise or anything you value in too hot or humid an environment. Electronics actually like the cold. So, if you have home theater stuff and the room's cold, I don't think that's a big deal. But these also aren't electronics. I don't know. I guess, if the room's too hot, you could have issues with cases. I don't know, humidity affecting. I've never really heard of that. The only thing I've ever heard of is definitely like don't put them in direct sunlight, the cases will fade. But I don't know. I'm not sure if there's an ideal temperature. I think, as with anything, try to not keep it at 110 degrees and don't keep it at 20 degrees, and you should be fine. Um, Back to the Future is coming out in 4K. Saw that question. That's coming out um, in October now. They were shooting for the summer. Now it looks like October. What's my favorite TV show of all time? That's tough. Probably It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Um, Philip asked a question here. Thank you for your support. Do you have any source to cite for the 4K HDR transfer of Speed? It's my favorite movie, but I cannot find any info on it. Philip, I think that you commented on the video as well, unless this is somebody else asking the same question. And I linked you to a tweet from a couple years back. There's a guy I follow who he worked for Fox. Now he works for Disney. And he had a tweet a couple years back that I found that talked about them screening Speed in 4K HDR and how good it looked. And that was a couple years ago. So it was screened for a bunch of people, and a few people publicly tweeted about it, and I guess nobody just kind of picked up on it. But I know that they have the transfer out there. And Philip, if you want to email me, I can send you the tweet again. But I put the link in the comments. So that was my source for that, as well as a few people from that world who have some, knowledge of that, it's sitting there. It's ready to go. It's up to Disney to put it out. Greetings from Niagara Falls. Cool place to live. Is it a good idea to start collecting Blu-rays before you get a Blu-ray player? That's what I did. I started collecting them, and then I was like, well, I need a way to watch them, and then it took off from there. Bass Boy or Bass Boy. I'm not sure which one. If this is a fishing channel, I'd say Bass Boy. It's home theater, so it might be bass. But thanks for your membership. If you guys can see in the chat, Bass Boy, Bass Boy, he has that little green text and a symbol. That means he's a member on the channel. You guys can do that if you join. Will Back to the Future 4K be a true 4K, or will it be a transfer from Blu-ray? I don't know this 100% for sure, but I would be shocked if it wasn't a true 4K. It was shot on film. They should be working on a 4K master. I'm sure that's why it's taking so long. If it was just a port over from the Blu-ray, they probably could have put it out by now. So 100%, I would, if it's not a true 4K, then somebody did something really wrong. It should definitely be a true 4K. Do you get Blu-rays from other countries imported from Amazon? I do from time to time. I have Blu-rays that I've bought from like Amazon France. Actually, this guy right here, this Predator behind me, it's kind of hard to see. You can see him in the corner there. The Predator head. This is from Amazon Japan, and sometimes I buy from Zavi, or I just bought from JB Hi-Fi the other day in Australia. So with 4K, it's easy. They're all region free. You can buy them from anywhere in the world and still play them. But yes, if you're wondering what that green badge thing is, that means that Bass Boy is a member of the channel. So if you guys want that, it's like $2 a month to become a basic member, or you can do $5 a month. And once I get enough members, I'm doing a members only monthly live stream for the $5 a month group. So just an option. What Denon receiver do I have? It's an AVR 2600XH. I have a video on it, and it's actually got a lot of views. So if you want a more in-depth, but it's a Denon AVR 2600XH. It does Dolby Vision. It passes through Dolby Vision. It passes through Dolby Atmos. So it's future-proof as of right now. Would I like Tron Legacy on 4K? 100%, both Tron and Tron Legacy. Austin Powers in 4K. Not sure that's ever going to happen. I just don't see that's a tough one to sell to people, because when you think of 4K, you're trying to, you're looking for ultimate picture quality, and that's not really why we're watching Austin Powers. We're watching it to laugh. Cliffhanger on 4K. I have that one. I need to get to that, actually. Thank you for reminding me. That's on my list. Is Xbox One X a good 4K player? I think it is, personally, for the price and the fact that you get all that, including a game console. It's pretty good, but it's not as good as a standalone. It's just not. It's not what it's meant for, right? It'll do it, and trust me, I use it for some of my stuff. I use my Xbox One, and I plan to use the PlayStation 5 when that comes out as a 4K player. But a 4K standalone player is going to be more expensive, and it's dedicated, and it often just handles things a little bit better. But if you're just an average consumer, you're probably not going to notice the difference, to be honest. Let's see. Any thoughts on Warner Brothers Lord of the Ring 4K Blu-ray? Yes. There was just some news that came out on that. I'm actually going to go and try to find it now. And I can link to you guys, because there was some news that it was going to be a 30 disc set. That's what I heard. Where did I see this? Now I can't remember where I saw it. Maybe it was just a rumor. But anyway, I heard that the Lord of the Rings set was coming out, I guess, next year, and that it was going to be 30 discs. Lord of the Rings plus The Hobbit. It's all 6 movies, I think, with extended editions and a whole load of special features. So, and like Return of the King, probably going to have to be on 2 4K discs because it's so long. And the extended editions may need to be on 2 discs. I heard for some reason there's going to be a 30 disc set. It was going to be like a monster set. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But that's what I'm hearing, next year maybe, or late this year. Dollar Tree Blu-ray video was a good one. Actually just was there about an hour ago, and they still had a few. I finally found a Dollar Tree near me that had some. They had 3 Blu-rays. It was all stuff that I'd already gotten, so nothing there that I picked up, but they're still out there. John Carpenter's Escape from New York should be released on 4K, and it is available overseas, so I would love to get that. Here's an interesting question. If you had a budget of around $5K, $5,000, would you get a 77-inch OLED TV or a projector for your living room? This is a tough one, because a lot of it comes down to personal preference, right? So if you don't want to deal with a bulky projector, and this is going in your living room, then I'd go with the TV. I wouldn't go with the projector, because projectors can be bulky. They're either hanging from the ceiling, or you have to have them on a table behind your couch. So it's going to come down to sort of personal preference and how your house works. But if you had $5K to spend, you could probably get a true 4K, not a pixel shifter. Like, I have the pixel shifting ones, which are still, I mean, they have 8 million pixels, but they use technology to get there, and they're still like $2,500 to $3,000. For $4,000, I think you can get the JVC, and that's a true 4K. And then you could spend $500 to $1,000 on the screen, and for $5,000 have a literally like 150-inch true 4K picture. Now, if you just want a TV, just get the OLED if that's easy enough. You don't have to deal with the projector screens. There's a lot of things that go with the projector that don't make sense for everybody's living room. Let's see. Should I buy the Arrow Blu-ray RoboCop set for $70? Are you talking about this one? Because I don't think that's, if that's $70, maybe it is $70 because it's a limited edition, but I wouldn't spend $70 on that. If there's a 4K transfer, chances are that someone is probably going to put it out on 4K. So, let's see. Whose films do you enjoy more, Christopher Nolan or Quentin Tarantino? That's a tough question. Um, I would probably go with I'd probably go with Tarantino. Just I don't know. That's so tough. That's so tough. Um, Wednesday is the first of the month. Do you think the Barnes and Noble sale will happen? It is. It's happening. 50% off. Guarantee it. Um, any recommendations on space issues? This is a good one. If you've been collecting for a long time or have a lot of movies. Um, One thing that I've been doing, well, obviously, I took a closet and just put some shelves in there because um, that's a good way to like get it out of the room, so it's not like in the way, but it's still accessible. But I think the biggest thing is too is custom building your shelves. If you have the space to do it, I would custom build shelves that are the exact size of Blu-ray dimensions because you can fit more on those shelves. You can, any shelf that you buy from a store, I'm looking right now, there's and I bought all mine from a store. I built them in my old condo. Now in the house, I don't. But there's a 2 inch gap in between all the movies. So if I go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, I could get another 24 inches in here by not buying a pre made shelf and by making my own custom shelves. And that means you can get like 4 more rows. So that's one thing I would do for space is custom build. And I also don't hate the idea of like putting them in um, bins or I've even seen people do like file cabinets and have a wall of file cabinets and like just put their movies in there and pull them out from the wall like some sort of built-in storage. That can be a really cool option and still makes them all accessible, but sorts them and gets them away a little bit easier. But it it's an ongoing struggle. I just bought 2 more shelves the other day that I talked about in my last live stream. Um, let's see. What's my favorite trilogy of all time? Original Star Wars. Um, what's going on with this shirt? It's awesome. I don't know. It's 90s. It's cool. Um, I liked it. Let's see. Do you own Arrow's video release of Dawn and Day of the Dead? I don't think so, but I'm getting maybe maybe I do. Dawn of the Dead I'm getting from Second Sight though, 4K. Um, do you ever think you will get tired of collecting or get rid of your collection? It's honestly an interesting question. I don't think. Well, the problem is right now I'm not getting tired of collecting, but I have so many movies that it's not as fun collecting as it was 5 years ago when I only had a few hundred movies and I'm looking for the best deals on things. I have now found Apocalypto on Blue. Now that that's coming out again, but I found all these out of print movies and it's taken me 5 years, but I kind of hunted them all down and found them at thrift stores and at random video stores and stuff. And so it's not as exciting as it used to be, but I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. There could be a day where I start to um, put some in boxes that I know I'm not going to rewatch that often, but I don't want to get rid of them because I consider it to be sort of a library and archive almost, and you know, who knows what's going to happen with physical media and Hollywood, and now you can't buy Gone with the Wind right now if that gets edited and taken apart, or something like Tropic Thunder gets pulled off the shelves and it's like, or gets edited on streaming. Like the only way you're going to have an original is if you have the movie from when you originally bought it on Blu-ray, and that's why I want to keep things like this. Even the original Star Wars I have on VHS because when they go and edit those and change things, I want to have the originals. Um, let's see. New subscriber wondering what your musical interests are. I'm loving Bob Dylan's new record. I don't know much. Ab- I don't know much of Bob Dylan's stuff. I know his old stuff. I don't know the new stuff. Musical taste is it varies. I'll go from listening to Notorious B.I.G. to Jay-Z to listening to Creedence and the Beatles. Like I jump all over the place. So I don't know. I just like music in general, I think. Um, do you think CDs and DVDs can become popular again someday like vinyl did? DVDs, no. I mean, DVDs are already popular. They still more than 50% of the market is still DVDs, so they're not going anywhere. CDs, though, I don't think so because where do you play CDs? Honestly, you play them in your car, and you can't even buy a new car with a CD player in it. So I think CDs are gone. Vinyl is the type of home physical media music at home. Vinyl has dominated, and CDs I think are gonzo. So we got about 5 minutes left. If you want to make sure your question gets answered, again, super chat, potentially be a member, join the membership program. But just so you know, I got about 5 minutes left. I'm going to I'm scrolling back up now through some of the previous questions. But if you do want to get your question answered 100%, using that chat is the best way because a lot of questions are coming in. Is Disney going to destroy Indiana Jones? In terms of like the older movies, I don't think they'll ruin the transfers. I think we'll be okay there. But when they like reboot it or whatever, yeah, they'll probably destroy it. I noticed your Columbia Classics 4K box set. Are other studios releasing any 4K box set classics? I think there's a chance that there could be a Stanley Kubrick box set coming. I have information now that they are. So we got The Shining, we got 2001: A Space Odyssey, and we're now getting Full Metal Jacket. I know that's being worked on, and I'm trying. There was a couple more, but I think we could get that. So that would be pretty cool for a Stan. I guess it's not like a classics, but it's a Stanley Kubrick, which would be nice. And I also, what were the other ones? Oh, yeah. So Full Metal Jacket's being worked on, and Beetlejuice obviously is coming, and so like Warner did a classics like 100th anniversary big Blu-ray box set. I think that had like a bunch of movies, or maybe it was 75th anniversary. It had like 75 Blu-rays. So that could that could happen, but Warner would be one. Alfred Hitchcock Classics 4K set, that would be a good one. I think there's potential. Any thoughts on this is a good one. Any thoughts on what would be included in Columbia's Volume 2 collection? So there are some hints basically in the booklet for Columbia Classics Volume 1. They have a bunch of quotes in there, and there's quotes from movies that aren't in the set. I know there's a quote from Taxi. I think Taxi Driver is 100% going to be on Volume 2. I think that's a no-brainer. I believe that Oliver is going to be another one. And I saw, let me see where I I saw a thread somewhere that was talking about um like which movies would be in volume 2. It's all based on the booklet. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm gonna have to try to find that thread or go back, but um there's going to be a volume 2, and I know Taxi Driver is going to be a part of it. um Terminator 1984 on 4K. The issue with Terminator and the issue with um, all of James Cameron's movies are that he has to have final say on any of the 4K transfers that are done for his movies. Some of the directors have a clause like in their contracts. Christopher Nolan's one, David Fincher's one, and James Cameron is one. And so you're not going to get any David Fincher or James Cameron movies until they sit down and work on the transfers themselves. So unfortunately, it's going to be a while before you get anything James Cameron because he's doing like 27 Avatar movies instead of working on these transfers of his older movies. And until he gives approval and works on them himself, you're never going to see them. Um, let's see. There's a 4K HDR Samsung 8 Series 75-inch TV at Best Buy for $1,000. Is it worth it? Um, I'd have to get a link to that. The Samsung 8 series, is it a QLED? If it's a QLED, it's probably worth it for $1,000. That seems pretty good for a 75-inch TV. But I don't know, for $1,000, I feel like you can get an OLED like 65-inch possibly. So that's something. Um, Sorry, I'm just reading comments now. All right, here we go. Oh, Michael, thank you. And so, guys, I have like I'll give you 5 more minutes, but if you want your questions answered, you're going to have to throw it in the chat with a super chat, or I may not get to them. Michael said, do you think we'll get North by Northwest in 4K? And this is interesting because someone 2 spots above you said the Birds, Vertigo, Psycho, and Rear Window are set for 4K releases in the fall. I would be really surprised if they didn't include North by Northwest in there. And maybe, I don't know which other Hitchcock movie you'd throw in there. Maybe Rebecca or Notorious. One of those, like an old school one. But I think that would be a great 6 movie set. So I do think that all of these movies, like all these classic film movies that the studios know that collectors will go out and buy a Hitchcock set. They know you'll buy a Fincher set. They know you'll buy a Tarantino set. So I think that all of these will eventually come to 4K. Will Zulu ever get released on 4K? It looked gorgeous on Blu-ray. Zulu was a Twilight Time Blu-ray, I believe. So they now have probably lost the rights. Until the rights are given up by Twilight Time, you're not going to see it on 4K. But that's possibly one that come to 4K, but I don't see that being a huge seller. Chad, thanks. Does Arrow Video or all of films ever have a flash sale? Guys, if you missed this at the beginning, I'm going to put a link in here again, mvdsale.com. Go there, and right now they only have like 6 or 7 titles from Arrow Video, but they're on sale for literally like $5 to $7 a piece. Arrow Video does do sales, but usually through MVD in the US. Now, Arrow UK does flash sales. I know that. All of films, I haven't seen as many sales. Kino does good sales all the time, so I know that. Arrow does sales. Criterion does sales. Scream Factory, Shout Factory kind of do sales, but their sales usually suck. And trying to think of anybody else who does big sales like that I buy from. But I don't remember all of ever doing a big sale. Are there any movies you're pumped about seeing in theaters soon? I gotta tell you, that's part of what I wanted to talk about was the movie theaters reopening. Based on the way the country's going here in the US, I don't know how they're going to reopen. If they do reopen, they're going to be at about 50% capacity, which means like, is Christopher Nolan going to want to launch Tenet when you can only fill 50% of the theater? And even more so, is Warner Brothers going to want to launch it when they can only make half the dollars they'd usually make? I don't know if these theaters are going to open up and be like hugely successful because they all got pushed back. I don't know. I want to see Tenet, but like I just want to see it in a normal setting. Will I wear a mask if I go to the theater? I will. I think that's been widely proven to help. The Northeast states where we've been wearing masks since the start, we're now actually almost out of this thing. And places where they weren't requiring masks are having a lot of issues right now. So, I mean, I don't mind wearing a mask. It's really not that big a deal. And I wore one today when I went to the stores. The problem is I don't want to sit in a movie theater and wear a mask because it gets really hot. You get sweaty. It's going to be gross, and I don't want to do it. I'd rather watch a movie at my house and not have to worry about it. So I probably just won't go to the theater. But if I did go, I would wear a mask. I wear a mask out in public. Um, and do I think it should be mandated? I don't know. You can't mandate 100% really anything. Um, but I think it's common sense that you should probably wear one. And then I think it's probably once you're in your seat, it's probably like restaurants. Once you're in your seat and you're seated, there's probably two seats between you, and the other person next to you, then you can probably take it off. Like otherwise, how are you going to have popcorn? How are you going to do all that? That's how they make their money. So if they can't sell you popcorn and drinks because you have to wear a mask, they're not making any money. The theaters aren't going to do any better if they open up. So I think it's just a matter of like when you're in there and you're going through and you're giving your ticket to people and stuff, wear your mask. When you get into the theater, just be conscious of who's around you and be careful. And they'll probably not going to require you to wear a mask, but we will see what happens. I'm going to go for 5 more minutes because you guys have some good questions. Have I seen Outbreak? Yeah, I saw Outbreak a long time ago. I need to watch that again. I need to watch that one again. You say there's a cinema scene in that. I've got to go back and watch that. Ben-Hur, I bet will get a 4K release eventually. Will there be a 4K release of Les Mis, Shawshank, Ben-Hur, The Green Mile, 12 Angry Men, Once Upon a Time, and in America, in The Godfather? I would say all of those. I would think Les Mis and 12 Angry Men might be the two that don't get it, but we'll see what happens. Do I think Walmart and Target will ever stop selling physical media? No, I don't think so. It's going to scale down, but Walmart still makes a ton of money off DVDs. So I don't see how they're ever going to get rid of it. You may not see as many 4K titles, but I don't think you're ever going to see DVD disappear. I was in a Target today, and they had a bigger vinyl section than they did for CDs. So like it's just weird, what's going on. But I don't think you'll ever see them disappear. So about 2 minutes left. So if you have any last second questions, I'm going to go till 10 past. So give a few more minutes for that. But just want to say thanks to everyone for coming out again for this stream. Really good questions, good conversations. Again, love talking to you guys. But I'll try to do my best to answer the next few. And if you want to make sure your question gets answered, throw a super chat in there. And I 100%, even if 10 of you guys throw them in there right now, and it takes me another 10 minutes to answer them, I'll stay on until they're all answered. So I just want to honor that. Let's see. Scrolling back up through. I do have, all right, so I have 5.1.2 in my theater right now. Do I want 7.1.2? I don't think I need it in the size room I'm in, but when we're going to build a garage on this house and put a room over it, and that's where all my stuff's going to move to. When I have a larger room like that, I probably will add 2 more speakers and go to the 7.1.2. But for right now, I have no issues with 5.1.2. I've got the Atmos speakers, so if there's Atmos, it comes through. It's not a big deal. Thank you, Nathan. You're easily the best physical media channel out there. Love your content. Appreciate it. I think there's a lot of great channels out there, so I don't know if I'm the greatest. I don't have the video editing skills, and I'm still working on like lighting and audio and like trying to figure all that out because I really just I don't know, I really just tried like I just started making videos and it just picked up so fast that I'm trying to like my equipment wasn't ready to go to 30,000 subscribers, but I appreciate everybody watching it. So I'm trying to figure all that out and even get myself a good enough computer that can really handle some serious editing and things like that. But trying. So I appreciate that. Michael, thanks for the comment here. Thoughts on Elon Musk and Tom Cruise film in space? Um, I think I think Tom Cruise is nuts, like 100%. Like you've seen me make fun of him in my videos. The guy's off his rocker. Um, so I don't know. I think the fact that they're filming in space, I'm not surprised, and I'm kind of interested. It's kind of a cool concept if people are willing to. Imagine if they could have filmed a movie like Gravity and done it in space because there were some crazy actors and actresses crazy enough to go into space and film it. Um, so I don't know. Um, I think it's an interesting concept to film in space, and someday somebody will probably film a freaking movie on the moon. We could have a remake of First Man with Ryan Gosling, and they actually go to the moon to film it or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like the future, who knows? And I appreciate all the comments, guys. I try to make the videos as clean as I can and make them, sound and look good to the best of my ability. But I also don't have time. I don't do this full time. I don't have time to spend um, hours on editing and cleaning things up. This is purely a hobby and something I do for fun. So I appreciate that you guys still enjoy it and all the kind words you have in here. Um, yeah, with that, I'll give it another couple of minutes. If anybody, I'm going to give it one more minute. If anybody has a last second question here, I will answer it. But um, otherwise, thank you for watching this. Thank you for watching all my videos. Make sure, like I said, keep sharing this. Keep subscribing. Keep put my videos, like I want you guys to share them. Share them on Facebook. Share them in Facebook groups. Share them on Reddit. Share them on all kinds of social media, on forums, on anywhere that you can share the videos. Go for it. Go for it. Share the videos because I want them to be shared. I want more people to see them, and that gets us more subscribers, and it just builds an even better community. So just keep sharing the videos, keep liking the videos so other people will see them. Leave me comments. I appreciate all the positive comments. You get the crappy negative comments sometimes, but I leave the comments on because there's good conversations in there. And so I just appreciate all of it, appreciate all the support. And yeah, I'll give it 30 more. I'll go a minute and a half. That'll be a 45-minute stream. That's pretty good. But yeah, just you guys have been great. Keep up the support. Do I want to do YouTube full time one day? Honestly, probably not. I don't think I ever want to do it full time. When it becomes a job, it becomes less fun. If I have to do it and I have to survive off of it, and that's how I pay my bills, when it becomes a job, it's no longer a hobby. I'm no longer having fun with it. I'm taking it too seriously. I'd be afraid of that. Now, I want it to grow as much as it can grow. That would be great. But I'm always going to keep, holding down a job and treat this as a secondary hobby thing because that's where you get the passion. Um, so yeah, we got 30 seconds left. I'll answer one last question because I saw it here. Do you own Disney Treasure DVD sets? I don't, and I wish I did. Those are some of the ones that I'm still trying to find out there somewhere. And maybe I'll get lucky and find one in a thrift store or something, but they are hard to find. But yeah, it's about 15 past 4 now. I've been on here for about 45 minutes, so I'm going to sign off. I appreciate all the support, and I will talk to you guys soon. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I have some videos. I'll have another video coming tomorrow, so stay tuned for that one. Bye.